Should you spend your time or money to get listings? That's a huge debate that I hear a lot. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of each and which one makes sense depending upon you and your unique situation. But before I get started, smash the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications to get more videos like this. Often, when you have money, you don't have time. But when you have a lot of time, you don't have the money. So let's talk about the pros and cons of spending time to get listings versus spending your money to go out there and get more business. There's obviously benefits of both, and understanding them will help you make the right decision on which approaches you use to go out and get more business. So let's talk about time first. Obviously, some of the pros of time is it doesn't cost you any money. I know that's a big no duh. The other pro of spending your time versus your money is you can sometimes net more income. So if you're running a small business and you want to get the highest return on investment for your time and your energy invested, sometimes this can be a great method if you're not really wanting to scale past a certain level. The other thing is, the better your skills, whether your sales skills or your marketing skills, normally the better your money. So those are some of the things there. And let's talk about money for a minute. Obviously, the goal of spending your money is to get a return on investment. So if you're spending money on advertising and marketing and direct mail or online ads, and you're not getting a return on investment, all you're going to do is burn holes in your pocket and waste your money. That's why this can be a very frustrating thing. The pros of spending your money, though, is it's scalable. If you find something that works well, like a marketing campaign or a mail campaign, you can scale it, and you can all of a sudden bring in a lot more business than before, grow your business, grow your team, and earn more business as a result, or earn more money as a result. The other thing that's a benefit of spending your money and creating a marketing campaign is consistency. A lot of times when you get busy, you all of a sudden get a lot of deals, you're trying to close them, and all of a sudden you're not generating any more leads, you're not bringing in more listings, you're not working with more buyers, and so all of a sudden you close all this business, and then all of a sudden you have no money because you have your deal flow or your pipeline of new business is closed off because you haven't been focusing on it. So when you spend your money, a lot of times you can keep those deals coming in consistently and trickle them in as you need them, versus when you change your focus on time, all of a sudden your money could dry up. So that's a huge benefit of spending money over time, is it's scalable and it can be consistent. The other thing that I love about spending money is it can be, obviously campaigns and marketing is not always successful. Sometimes it fails, sometimes it breaks, sometimes stuff goes wrong with it. But when it works well, it's scalable, it's consistent, and it's self-sufficient. Now let's talk about the cons. With time, obviously it takes your time. I know that's a no duh, but there's only so much of your time and your energy that you can give. I know for me, I've gone home at night sometimes and I'm out of gas, and I'm trying to spend time with my wife and I'm just worn out. I'm really tired. So you don't have an endless bank of energy or time. We all have the same amount of time in a day. So that is one thing that can be frustrating, is when you're pushing to scale or grow, and if you don't manage your time correctly, it's really easy to get your back up against the wall, and all of a sudden you stop generating leads or bringing a new business, and your money dries up, or you go home and you're really tired because you get something out of balance, and that can be frustrating. It's been frustrating for me. I'm sure it's been frustrating for you. So there's only so much of you and so much time and energy. It can be hard to scale. Once you're out of your time, there's nothing left. You only have 24 hours in a day, 168 hours in a week. You do not have endless time. So it's not scalable. There's a kind of a limit to where you go based on your time. It's not like an endless bank. And it's hard to duplicate you. A lot of times when you're spending your time, you get really good, kind of like we talked about, the better your skills, the better your money, and you get really good at something, whether that's converting FSBOs into listings or expireds or whatever it is that you're really good at, and then you try to duplicate it. You're like, hey, I'm gonna hire an assistant, I'm gonna train him or her everything I know, and we're gonna double the business. And you get excited about it, you hire an assistant, you then gotta get them to be you, you're really good, so you get frustrated with them, or they go out and compete with you and they become your next competitor after they get good at it. So that's kind of some of the frustrations about trying to duplicate or scale your time, is once you get good, it's hard to go out and hire another person and clone yourself. It's not, we've all tried it, right? Or most likely. So that's kind of some of the cons that frustrate me when you go the time route. And obviously when you start, everyone starts here with a lot of time and not a whole lot of money, so you're gonna have to make these work until you get the money, and then you can take it and invest it into growth. Some of the cons with money is it costs money. I know that's a no duh, but if you screw this one up and you go and start investing money into all these different ideas and these different magic bullets, if they're not giving you a return on investment, it's really easy to have a lot of revenue and very little money that you take home at the end of the year. That's why you hear some of these coaches who focus on like cold calling and scripts, they're like, you always want to focus on the high net income, and everyone who spends money on advertising is dumb. And I've heard those arguments too. There's not a right or wrong here. It's all, what is your preference? How much money do you want to make, and what is the best way to get it? So when it costs you money, make sure that you don't spread yourself too thin, that you're not investing in things that aren't working, that you're tracking your marketing and making sure it produces a return on investment. These are some of the things that I learned early in business. As I would go out and do marketing, and I would run a billboard, or I did radio ads or magazine ads or newspaper ads, and I didn't know how to track the different sources of marketing, so I didn't know where my business was coming from. So if you're gonna go spend money on marketing, know what it's making you in return, and make sure that each dollar you're spending is making you a return on investment, or turn it off. Or know, hey, I'm investing into SEO or building my brand or social media, and I'm not gonna know if it's making me money for 6 or 12 or 24 months. And also, if you do invest money into campaigns, there's going to be the short-term return on investment and the long-term plays that are return on investment. If you invest everything in the long game, you may not make anything in the short game, and you run yourself out of cash. That's a bad position to be in. So it's kind of balancing out short-term versus long-term. What makes the most sense for me? Some of the other cons with creating mail campaigns and marketing is people can copy you. It's not very, if you go out and write a really good letter and somebody else gets their hands on it, they can copy it word for word. Yeah, you can sue them, but that's going to take your energy. It's going to take your time. It may cost you some money with attorney fees, and it's just going to distract you. I don't think that's always the best use of time. So they can copy you, and when things stop working, when you're belly to belly and face to face, it's easy to figure out why. If you're trying a cold calling script, you're going to get instant feedback when you get hung up or cussed out or told you're an idiot by some seller you're calling. When you're mailing a letter, it just ends up in the trash. So if stuff stops working, it can be hard to figure out what went wrong. So those are some of the pros and cons. And I want to go over some of the different methods based on these and give you some ideas off of them. But really, it comes down to what is right for you. You can do a little bit of both. Everything's going to take a little bit of time and most likely going to cost some money, but what makes the most sense? So now let's talk a little bit about some of the methods based on if you're going to spend time or money. If you're going to spend money, one of my favorite all-time things is direct mail. There are so many people doing online ads and social media. It's not like it doesn't work, but the noise there is leveling out, where now mail is becoming very viable and extremely profitable. So my recommendation is if you're going to take a money route, spend some of your dollars on marketing mail campaigns, especially if you're trying to get listings. If you want to see how we're going after FSBOs, for an example, go to authorify.com/FSBO to see the 11-step mail campaign that we send out to FSBOs to help you get listings. So that's just one example. Another one is like offline and online ads. Obviously, you can do real estate magazine ads, you can do online Facebook ads or Google paid per click. So ads is a really good method. You can also buy leads from like Zillow or different lead providers. So when you're spending money, the biggest thing that I care about is, do you make a return on investment? If I'm spending $1, am I making at least $3, $5, or $10 in return? Obviously, the bigger the return on investment, the more lucrative that marketing method is. So for an example, if you're doing mail and you're mailing a campaign to for sale by owners and you're spending $1 and getting $10 back, that's super lucrative. Or if you're buying leads and you're spending $1 and getting $3 back, which one are you going to put your money on? I'm going to put my money on whatever's making me the biggest return on investment. So, because that means I can grow faster, or I can put more money in the bank or in savings or whatever it is. The other way that you can spend more money than time is you can pay others to do it for you. You can hire an assistant. You can hire companies like us to go out and help you get listing appointments. You can work with service providers, or you can bring in and build your own in-house staff. There's many pros and cons of that. I won't go into the details, but those are some of the different ways you can spend your money to get a return on investment. I love this method because it's scalable. So now let's talk about time. One of the goals with time is when you don't have money or you're trying to get a higher net income and you don't want to grow your business or you want to stay at a certain level and that's kind of what you're happy with. You're not really, you don't have the same goals as someone else who wants to grow forever and ever, right? So when you go out and do time methods, cold calling is obviously a really popular method. Texting leads like FSBOs, for an example, or emailing them. You can knock on doors or go to for sale by owners open houses. And you can also do stuff like social media to your sphere of influence and friends and past. Maybe if you worked at a bank or in retail before and you have a bunch of friends there, work with them to get listings and stay in touch. So these are things that can take time and can help you grow your business. There's many ways to do this. We have a lot of videos on cold calling and emails and going into this in more in depth on this channel, so subscribe to check them out. So hopefully this was helpful for you. Hopefully this helped you kind of decide what direction you're going to go with. And if you're new, go with the time route. Make this pay off. Don't get distracted by all these other methods. Maybe get really good at something like this or buy some training or some methods that are cheap and easy that you can invest your time on. Get good at it. Once you got some money, leverage it. Leverage that money into more money. That's investing, right? Invest in yourself, invest in your business. So those are some good methods. If you want to again see how we're doing one of the mail campaigns, go to thorify.com/FSBO. Check it out. And if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe and turn on notifications to get more videos like this. Thanks for watching.